Wall Street trade. Easy comforts, as we change, exposure, and we just purchased a new company last week called eTail.
And what was your first job again?
My first job was for a company called Century Outlet, where we were a brick and mortar store for 65 years, and we transitioned into purely online, closed down the stores, stopped selling, and today, it's still that.
My name is David Guy. For the last 7 years, I've been at Sorky. Most recently as our CMO, heading up all our digital marketing strategy. And I'm also the founder and CEO of a social commerce marketplace startup.
Your first job?
With Sorky.
Wow, you guys are very serious people. All right, help us out, Chris. Any fun first job?
Fun first job?
Yeah.
I actually shoveled septic tanks for my first job.
Yeah, that's not fun.
If that's not fun, I don't know what is. I'm Chris Vitale. I'm the Vice President of Digital Operations and E-commerce with Pep Boys. Previously worked retail store side with Target and worked at GSI supporting the Ralph Lauren account.
Manish?
My name is Manish Chowdhary. I'm the founder and CEO of Go eCart. I'm the only vendor on the stage. We help small, medium-sized businesses with e-commerce technology, omni-channel commerce technology from e-commerce website all the way to order management, inventory, fulfillment using a single platform.
First job?
I actually help grade papers for new students coming into university and helping them obtain scholarships.
Did you take a little table payment?
They used to have some envelopes that would be slipped occasionally.
All right, so I want to kick us off by asking marketplaces, good, bad, evil, right? If you didn't have to work with them, if Amazon lost all of its traffic tomorrow, would you work with them?
I think the answer to your first question is good, bad, equals all below. And it's just important to know that we can get the better. If they stop getting any traffic, then yeah, we would stop working with them. But as long as they continue to have business, we're in business, because we know that 75% of the customers who order from our brands on Amazon are new. They have not shopped with us before. So because of that, there's a value that we can't get otherwise.
Chris, do you agree?
I do agree. All the above is the answer. There's definitely a customer segment that you get access to that you don't normally on your own site. If you could work that out and have access to all those folks, and in our case, it gives us a nice spread on geography as well, so we tend to see interaction near our stores. On the marketplaces, we get interaction across the country in other areas that we don't normally see it. So you have to be careful, approach it the right way, and monitor it, make sure you're not falling underneath a margin line.
And I think another context for it is related products. So if somebody's looking, in our case, we sell baby imitations, and somebody's looking for diapers, are they able to see baby imitations? If one marketplace provides those, then we will see it aside from them just being focused on searching for our specific genre of products.
So you have to work with marketplaces, and you have to work with Amazon. What's beyond Amazon and eBay?
We're really excited about Walmart. We want to swing in Q4, and the velocity has been bigger than we expected. I'm also really excited about Jet, that just isn't even live yet. Because they're taking the concept of Amazon Prime and membership to a whole new level, and I think that'll be really exciting for us. We've done all the Sears, eBay, Shop, Rakuten, Buy, House, and most of them don't have any real volume. It's Amazon, Walmart, and hopefully Jet.
A bit with Google Shopping as well. A lot of it is you have your data feed that's already constructed. How do you get the most extension from it?
Yeah, I think having an integrated marketing, and we speak with a lot of SMBs, the danger that we see when retailers are working and having success on marketplaces like Amazon and eBay, they tend to abandon their main primary channel, and they tend to over focus on marketplaces, which can be detrimental over the long term, because they can easily be displaced if a competitor that's more aggressive in pricing and so on. So the larger brands obviously are more conscious of that. However, the smaller retailers tend to follow the money and they tend to overemphasize and not invest as much in their brand, which they need to be careful about.
That's a big pitfall, and don't follow the money. What are some other challenges that you guys have faced in working with marketplaces?
We saw a number of challenges from the size of our company and interacting with the various marketplaces. The integration was a lot more extensive than we had initially anticipated. Getting all of the feeds hooked up and the automation, the communications down for logistics, returns. It's just a lot more complex than you think. Matching up the product as well to the various ASINs or eTails or whatever is pretty tricky as well.
I echo the complexity concept because on one hand, this is like marketplaces are really easy. You just shovel over an Excel file and there your products are. But it's not that simple. So for us, it's really about evolving into treating Amazon, Walmart, all the marketplaces as individual brands, just like we treat our core brands as brands. So you have a pricing strategy, you have a photography strategy, you have a copy strategy, you have data quality, you have good partners and nurses to get you the right quality data in the right spot, fast enough. And something really a challenge for us is understanding customer expectations. So a third of our business from our normal non-marketplace business, customers yank out the order from the catalog, fill it out, and mail that to cashiers, checking money orders, or check or cash or stamps. And by definition, that customers not in a hurry. They don't care if it takes an extra day to process the order. But Amazon is all about efficiency. So how as a company do we reconcile that a third of our customers are totally cool with taking weeks for the order to ship, but another big chunk of our business wants it to ship today. So there's definitely operational challenges there.
Right. We see it all the time. I mean, the larger merchants have far more resources available to them. How the smaller ones, they're operating on very slim inventory. In fact, many of our merchants are using drop shipping. They're using omni-channel fulfillment. Think about a scenario where you've got brick and mortar stores, you've got multiple websites, then you've got channels, Amazon, eBay, Rakuten. In addition, you have the call center, then you have returns coming in. And imagine on the fulfillment side, you have warehouse, your own fulfillment centers, 3PL, FBA, which is becoming increasingly popular, and dropship. Just imagine a scenario where you take an order from one sales channel and have fulfill it from any other distribution fulfillment channels that you have, and there's too much room for inventory to go out of sync. And that's one of the primary reasons we see smaller retailers struggling with operations and technology.
Yeah, we looked at the fulfillment as well, and those channels offer fulfillment in most cases, and we really had to look at what amount of inventory would we be putting over there that basically takes it out of the rest of our cycle for sale, and how does that fulfillment work in the connection. So we actually opted out of the fulfillment model because there were some benefits that come with it for those exact reasons.
Yeah, anecdotally, fulfillment feels like a race to the bottom on the retailer side or the brand side when we're putting products for Amazon to fulfill. Amazon is going to have their cut regardless, but as a retailer or brand, are we just competing each other down to non-existent margins?
I mean,
Yes, we are.
well, I mean, I think there might be some truth to that. I mean, on the SMB side, SMBs love FBA, and they are the ones that are driving FBA's growth. And in fact, majority of Amazon's growth from Prime is driven through FBA. They've tied the two together in order to win the buy box if you're not an FBA, which is very recently, they just announced like 2 weeks ago that they would allow non-FBA people to claim the buy box, which wasn't the case before. So FBA is having a major impact, and retailers, smaller retailers love it. You just have to have a strategy. You can't move the low moving items to FBA. That's not going to work. But if you have high volume, high frequency, that can actually work, and it is working for a lot of our clients.
It's a great way to get in quickly from a fulfillment perspective, for sure.
So what's your one strategy, and I'll go for one to each and every one of you, the one strategy that's brought the most growth in your marketplace?
I think the one strategy is for taking advantage of everything in particularly in Amazon's ecosystem. So everything that exists in Google or Yahoo or the rest of e-commerce, Amazon is an equivalent to Amazon. So product ads, text ads, sponsored ads, display banners, targeting acquisition banners, everything you can do else you can do on Amazon. And I think that was really the key to our success in the last 12 months was embracing all of that. And it becomes another full-time position to be a company and manage it all, but it really took us to the next level.
My recommendation would be around taxonomy and categorization. It's super tricky and easy to fall into a bit of a landmine because every system seems to be slightly different. But understanding what those differences are and how you can amplify your reach is really a good win.
Can you give us an example for your category?
So for us, within Amazon specifically, it was understanding that they were more happy with our baby products and our wedding products, but they weren't really into wedding invitations as a genre, and just kind of working through their process to categorize within the right genre within baby with the right kind of other products. So I think trying to map as well as you can and think outside the box for where you fit in if some of the boxes are a little blurry.
Okay.
Pricing is key in the right product mix, but also getting involved with their deal cycles has been really successful for us. So they have monthly, weekly, daily deals in many cases, and then selecting the correct product, comping it, comp shopping it, making sure the price is aggressive and it's very desirable, has done a great job for moving products for us.
I'd say focus on inventory optimization. A lot of retailers, they compensate for lack of technology by over-allocating to specific channels, and that allows them to be less aggressive. If you have good control over your operations and inventory, you're making all products available simultaneously to all channels aggressively and not having to undersell or reserve quantity by channel. So just get a handle on inventory and make that available aggressively across all channels.
So one of these pitfalls and challenges that we have talked about is and the lower margins that you mentioned earlier, going down to zero. How many marketplaces do you each have that are profitable for you guys?
So for us, we are all profitable. And our margins on marketplaces are really no different than elsewhere. So it is about really managing everything in that toolbox. So we manage contribution profit down to the order level. So we know if an item is not profitable, we just might not sell it anymore. You can keep your price at where it should be.
So for us, the margin rate, we try to keep the same. We try to do price parity across, but the fees kick in. Shipping calculations have to go on top. And the fees tend to take a nice chunk out of it. They're all still profitable. Although we haven't done the math on the people it takes to support and the time we're spending to run it, the ancillary stuff for price matching and comping. But we believe that we're profitable, so that's the most important thing right now.
And you mostly are prioritizing the top traffic marketplace.
That's right, yeah. And I guess the other aspect to it is also kind of the fuzzier omni-channel piece where getting the exposure on the marketplaces can increase your organic traffic through your brand or increase direct visits. So being sure to bake that in, that while there is kind of the calculations for extra overhead to manage it, there's also the less easily calculated lift.
Yeah, that's exactly right, because as Amazon has displaced Google as the #1 destination for product search, so people that go to Google for general search query, they're now starting their search on Amazon. So not being found on Amazon is almost not being found on Google, which nobody would ever consider doing. So many times, even if you're not successful in selling and driving sales volume, simply being present and having the exposure is itself worth it.
We are doing tracking as well for interactions we've had on one of the marketplaces, interactions we get of the same person in the store, and we do see tangible benefits there, as well as the brand recognition, association, being visible in the different channels.
How are you tracking across platforms?
So you take we do the fulfillment, so we get information on the consumer in order to fulfill off of it, and then we bounce it off of our store database for consumer interactions. Remember, we're taking people's cars, so they tend to leave information for us to contact them. So we're able to do a cross-reference there and figure out who's interacting across the channel.
So you guys talked about brand exposure. How do you maintain your brand integrity as you are promoting to the marketplace?
We don't necessarily. I think we put a realization that Amazon in particular is about that one transaction, they got one item customers want 1 unit from us. They don't necessarily care it's from milestone or store star, they just want the product. So we are not overly concerned about brand management.
How about cases where you have, very personal experiences that you were talking about maybe in a car, it's a very different situation, right?
Yeah, so we're in a similar boat. I mean, there's only so much you can do from a brand management perspective. They purposefully are putting you in the kind of the same form. We built ourselves a store out there on the marketplaces, and we feel good about that. Although traffic is minimal, but it's a feel-good move. They're very focused on customer interactions. Each of the ones we've dealt with, so there's a high focus there. The review feedback is awesome. You know it right away whether someone's been satisfied or not satisfied, and maintaining that seller rating on each of them is pretty key, not only for brand equity, but for your ranking as well and how you show up.
Yeah, actually, on the SMB side, if you don't have a huge brand and a very stellar known reputation, that actually helps these SMBs earn a reputation by getting a third-party endorsement of ratings and reviews on Amazon, because the consumer trusts that, as opposed to the native reviews that you'll get on your own website. So instead of it damaging the brand, it actually helps the smaller retailers build their brand using marketplaces.
That reminds me of something we recently started to consider. Our conversion rates on Amazon are much higher than our own websites. And we're beginning to wonder if maybe our brand on our branded websites is actually detrimental. And when you take the brand out of the equation and you just have product with Amazon's brand, we tend to do better. So that's a little food for thought that you can also investigate.
That is a giant question. Yeah, I mean, if you look at usability, we're getting a little off track here, but the usability around branding and what the consumer thinks and how they at some points are okay with the branding, in different interactions they're not. The device drives whether branding is okay and what extent they want to be branded, and then how much they care about the brand is a big piece of it, whether that's part of the emotion to the purchase or if it's not.
Well, that is actually consistent with the study that came out with Wood Media, which studied the technology brands, and Amazon is actually the #1 technology brand for millennials, outpacing Google, Apple, Facebook, and those comprise a huge chunk of the prime population. So that probably explains higher conversion rate.
So, David, you have a highly personalized product, which seems a little counterintuitive to sales on Amazon. So tell us how you're working that out so far.
Yeah, so we really approach Amazon as a marketplace to gain a lot of exposure. And so we do fulfill orders coming through there, but it's a little bit of a hack. So for example, Amazon doesn't have a concept of a minimum quantity, where for us, 10 cards and 20 cards might be the minimum quantity. So having to package a pack of 20 as a unit of one is like one example. Or getting the personalized information from the consumer and thinking through how we make that experience super smooth or as smooth as it can be, given that the order came from a different place, has also been a challenge. And it does involve a higher level of touch point from our customer service side, but it's really just kind of justified by the extra exposure, by the correlated products, and by being able to have that presence that can still result in a transaction.
We talked about marketplaces as being a way to access customers that did normally not access, a way to get exposure. How about marketplaces as a way to enter new types of media, new platforms that you might not invest in yet? And so mobile comes to mind. My own personal bias, which is I know many of you may not have an app strategy yet, and may have a lower oil presence on these marketplaces offer. Is that a viable way for you guys to test this channel, like this benefit from consumers on these new channels while you run your own strategies? Are you thinking about it that way?
I think it's great to give the consumer the option to interact with you the way they choose. So if they want to shop on a marketplace or shop on your direct site, I think it's important to offer that in this day and age where they can go wherever they want. You might as well be there and try to control that interaction or interact in that interaction as much as possible. The marketplaces are not great about providing data and information about the interactions on their site, so it would be tough to use those channels like mobile and understand if that is a viable play from your own perspective. You don't know who's really using it.
That's the thing, you don't know if someone's using the Amazon mobile app or
Right.
they're buying it. So you can't make a decision based on that.
Yeah, but I think there is value in being there. If you like the Amazon mobile app, then I want to try to be there.
It's kind of a tricky question of do we focus on building mobile web, do we focus on building our own mobile app? And I think it really comes down to value proposition and are you creating an experience that's significantly better that justifies being in the app that takes up the real estate on your users' devices. I think conceptually at a high level, everything seems great. I have real estate that people are seeing daily. I've got the ability to instantly push notifications to them. All the justification for a mobile app seems great in theory, but then the actual practice of creating an app that creates significantly more value than just the mobile web experience becomes really tricky. So Storky's an interesting case where we have a mobile app that doesn't even allow you to shop on our website. What it does is unlock this augmented reality experience to bridge the digital world to the physical world that is more about extending the product than it is about allowing our consumers to shop for our product on the mobile app.
I mean, from the retailers that we speak with, they feel that they have a much higher conversion of eBay customers over making them their own as opposed to Amazon, because Amazon being so protective of the identity and communication and mobile. I don't think relying on marketplace mobile is the solution. You're actually further training your customer never to come back to your site if you had any hope. So it's not a replacement for a mobile strategy for the brand. I think it needs to coexist. Amazon certainly, the Amazon shopping app is extremely popular, but I wouldn't say that rely on the marketplace mobile apps as a replacement for your own.
So we talked a lot about Amazon, I heard this morning, we hate them, we admire them, but we work with them. Which I thought, summarize a lot of the anonymous thoughts I heard over on Amazon, the friend of close situation. Let's talk about other marketplaces you guys have explored. Can you give me some examples of, nice successes you have, surprises, you talked about it that didn't work out for you.
Your options are pretty limited. There are a lot of options, but they're not necessarily worth your time. And that's kind of what we concluded. So it's really Amazon and Walmart for us, with the hope that there will be a third that can bring some real value.
How about internationally?
Well, we look at international customers and merchants wanting to sell internationally, and Alibaba.com seems to be making huge waves. Supposedly they sold more in a single day than perhaps all of holiday season in the US combined. There's some crazy number like that. Their total sales on their site is greater than total US retail sales on online digital channels. Especially those countries, the emerging countries, the retailers don't have as sophisticated technology and platforms available to them, so their natural reaction is to immediately go and list products on marketplaces, which make them incredibly powerful. Payment risk, there's little payment risk. They handle all the payment, currency exchange, shipping, fraud, all those protection that the sellers get. And same thing in countries like India. Sites like Flipkart, they have been raking in sales at an astonishing rate. So if you're looking to expand, there might be potentially more mileage that you might get out of some of these international marketplaces than the tier 3 marketplaces in the US, because there's really no tier 2 given the size of Amazon and eBay.
We totally avoid international for the most part. Our average order is under $30, so there's really no good way to get people to shop internationally with shipping, duties, taxes, brokerage. And it's just not worth it. We've tried it through multiple different ways, but marketplaces aren't good for us international.
I think with all those things, looking at international, looking at the marketplaces, you need to really evaluate what channel am I looking at, what is my business that I do, what am I trying to sell, which customer segment am I looking to interact with, and in what way, as complex as that all is, and to figure out, is it the right move, is it a good short-term move, is it a good longer-term move, is it something I should do first or second? You have to put some thought into it. I don't think there's just a golden answer of go on eBay, you'll make money. It's not, doesn't work that way, I don't think.
And it actually kind of runs counter to a lot of the technology that is pushing big data, is pushing personalization, is pushing insights, that the marketplace is a black box. If you have this really limited set, so where we can be thinking about omni-channel or time on site or number of sessions or lifetime value, when we shift into a marketplace aspect, a lot of these kind of basic metrics, click-through rates, clicks, impressions, become a lot more muddled and really frustrating to not have access to.
Well, I think getting on early on new categories that these marketplaces launch is probably your best bet before it becomes generally available to all sellers. I mean, eBay is struggling. They're struggling with growth, and some people might argue that eBay has reached its peak and there's not a lot of growth coming out of eBay anymore, while Amazon continues to expand new categories. And if you are a premium brand, you'll get invited to join that, and that's probably the time you make the most of it.
We have a couple minutes for questions. I'll turn to the audience now and see if you have anybody raise their hand. Any questions?
There's one where that
So we sell at Amazon at wholesale, but they don't buy our whole range. I wonder if you have any thoughts about the choice between selling wholesale and going to the marketplace and potentially combining them if that's allowed. I'm not even sure.
We are going through the same process right now. And I think we just have to try both, because wholesale supposedly gives me added use, the customers can use Prime and won't use their Prime anymore. And you don't get that necessarily from marketplace once you do an FBA. So I think we have to try it and then do the math to see which is actually profitable. Because our suspicion now is one of them is not profitable for us.
We did an evaluation on it and opted out of it. Again, we have the infrastructure around the shipping, and we just found it not to be a worthwhile opportunity for us. So we evaluated and opted out.
Yeah, it's something similar as you do marketplace, you do product ads, are they complementary or are they cannibalizing each other? And it's really a case-by-case basis.
Well, if you're a manufacturer or a distributor, that will make a difference, because as a manufacturer, you control the direct access for Amazon to procure, as opposed to being a distributor. You might be the guinea pig that helps them get started, and then they cut you off and get bigger discounts through manufacture directly, so you got to be careful.
I've heard of that.
Any other questions? All right, thank you so much, guys. That was very insightful. Appreciate your time.